Well, hey guys, welcome to a little mini series in my podcast. We're doing a special series for you guys of a peek behind the curtain of my inside scoop training. Some of you guys have participated in it, some of you are in my academy, but a lot of my followers and listeners have never really gotten any really good education on the power of LinkedIn. So we decided, my team and I, that what better way than to actually record my last training on the power of LinkedIn, how to build a brand, how to create that virtual business card and leverage the number one business to business platform and give it to you, give you the goods in podcast form. So what you'll be seeing and experiencing over the next couple of episodes is a recording of a 5-day series of training I recently did on the power of LinkedIn. So one thing to keep in mind as you listen to these episodes is they are a recorded training from July. So keep that in mind, but grab your pen and paper. Be ready to take some notes. If you love what you're hearing, know that we have an incredible depth of an academy that can hold your hand, bring you into our community, and help you build your business beyond your wildest dreams. So this is just a little peek behind the curtain. I hope you guys find incredible value on this.
Hey gang, Melissa Hinault here with the Burnout to All Out podcast. I'm a mom of 3 corporate burnout that built a secondary 6-figure income around my 9-to-5 with little kids. This set me free and allowed me to fire my boss and pursue my wildest dreams. It took grit, persistence, and belief. But now, operating multiple 6-figure businesses as an online entrepreneur and business coach, I have become a serial entrepreneur with a passion to inspire more burnouts to take the leap and go all out and live out their dreams. Each week, I'll bring you inspiring all-out guests, lifestyle business tips, and tools to empower you to take the leap from burnout employee to all-out entrepreneur, making your passion your paycheck. If this mom of 3 corporate burnout can go all out, so can you.
You guys, welcome to the Inside Scoop. First off, just congrats. Congrats on committing to yourself and your business, because you are taking radical action and ownership that you drive the seat in the recruitment of your business. And you are becoming open to new and novel, groundbreaking ways to actually do that. So just congrats to committing to your business. My name is Melissa Hinault. I have 3 critical goals here to help you fall in love with social selling all over again, if you fell out of love with it, to professionalize this industry that I've fallen in love with, and to create a legacy. My purpose is to create a legacy for you and for those that you find along the journey and the ones that you love, right? Through the most effective business to business platform that there is, through the most powerful method on the planet to recruit business partners and clients across the globe. First of all, if you do not have your workbook, let us know you need your workbook, because you're not going to be able to write everything down that I'm coaching you on. You're going to want prompts. What we're going to be covering, we're going to be talking about why LinkedIn is different. Okay, we're going to get into the basic nitty gritty of why in the world you should be on this platform and why it's so radically different than the other platforms. Imagine finding people or clients who want to learn what you have to offer with ease. Okay, finding business partners to run with, right? Finding clients who want what you have to offer. Growing a massive organization or business with like-minded people. Okay. Falling back in love with your business and creating a legacy for you, your family, and the generations to come, right? How would that feel? I want you guys to imagine that and feeling totally confident If you were to peek inside of our academy, feeling totally confident that you're on the right platform, the business to business platform, it's global, right? Waking up weekly with prospect calls automatically showing up in your calendar. Who would love that? With ease, with fluidity, a game plan weekly in flow on the platform, connecting, networking, enrolling, engaging, surrounded inside of a community of uplifting, supporting peers doing the same, sharing best practices on a weekly basis. Okay. All right. So here's the brand promise. The LinkedIn method is the fastest way to find business partners on the planet. You will get more out of this free training, hands down, than anything you paid for the last 3 programs you paid for. That's our brand promise, right? So here's my story. Let's jump in, guys. I was a corporate leader in corporate America in a Fortune 500. I had the luxury, I worked my ass off for it, but I had the luxury of dropping out of corporate through social selling. I was successful. I became a top income earner in my network marketing company, and I was able to retire from that. However, I became exhausted and burnt out all over again from the spammy, PME, hamster on a wheel tactics of recruiting customer after customer after customer after customer, and what I call kind of plugging the holes. I realized 3 years in, I was still doing all the work. I was doing all the work. How many of you feel that way? You want it, you see it. Maybe you're one of the top income earners now, but you're tired of being the one bringing everyone in. No one else is doing it. You don't have the leaders, if you're in social selling, that you want, right? Tired of the bait and switch. How many of you, it feels gross that you've introduced someone to a product and now you're trying to flip them into a business builder, even though it feels weird because that's not why they came in, right? Guys, I've been there. I was tired of it too. Okay. Here's the thing. I don't know about you, but I got to a point where I got tired of I didn't even want to power up my computer. How many of you were there? Like, you actually know the opportunity that you're pursuing is phenomenal, but you dread opening up your computer and recruiting, right? I was there. I will never forget being at dinner with my husband, looking him over the table and saying, I know I left corporate to do this, but I just can't do it this way anymore. It doesn't feel good. There has to be a better way. And if there's not, I'm going back, right? Like, that's where my mind was. And I understood the power of residual income, but I couldn't get my product users to get what I wanted to talk about. And so that, my friends, is when I went against the grain and I had this massive light bulb moment. But before I get to the light bulb moment, how many of you feel that you've been a hamster on a wheel? How many of you can look back in your business and see a plethora of enrolling people into your business for product, but not many business builders in social selling? Okay. How many of you have been there? How many of you were there? And you're looking for the key ingredient to find business builders. I want to cast hope for you guys. That night, I decided I'm going against the grain. There is an entire social media platform that I have completely overlooked that no one is using, and I'm going to go for it because it's a platform of professionals, and you guys are going to be taking furious notes about it here in just a second. But I'm leaned in, and I decided I'm going to recruit 100% on LinkedIn for 365 days. I'm going to give it my all. I'm going to take every course and module I can because I don't know how to use it, and I am going to go for it, right? I realized that I was one of those people who left corporate America and was in social selling, but didn't like the way I was being coached to do it. And I realized there's got to be other professionals who want what I have. I just haven't been speaking to them in a language that they understand. And I was on the wrong platform, right? So I made the pivot and I realized that the women specifically and men that I was looking for who wanted a new business opportunity, wanted a financial opportunity to build out an asset for life, they were scrolling and patrolling on Instagram and Facebook. They were actually busier scrolling through LinkedIn looking for the next job that was going to give them flexibility, give them more money, give them a more ideal career. These people are motivated, but they've been completely overlooked by the Instagram and Facebook community. So I decided that I needed to own this industry and stand in my posture and be of unwavering truth over on that platform and see what I could do. I went to work, and what you guys are going to learn about over the next 5 days is the culmination of that work, tried and true experience of attraction marketing that works. 3 years ago, I pivoted and started 100% exclusively recruiting for the business on LinkedIn. And most recently, using it to recruit for clients in my academy. So whether you're looking for business partners in social selling or you're looking for clients as a coach, this method of attraction marketing works when you're dialed into the right audience. And that audience is what we're going to talk about. How the audience on LinkedIn is different than it is on Instagram and Facebook. So I locked in on this new platform to recruit, and I began to get into it, engaging in conversations with people who wanted another income stream, going directly to the conversation. No bait switch. I want you guys to imagine. No bait switch. Just going straight to good old fashioned conversations about business. Yeah. People who wanted more out of life. People who wanted to grow professionally. People who wanted to grow personally. I got to cut straight to the chase. Talk about business. Guess what happened? I condensed time. I was no longer bait and switching, hoping for people to catch the vision. I was starting with the vision.
Hey there, we're going to take a brief little interruption. I think you guys will love why I'm doing this little interruption. And that is because we hear from you all the time over in the Burnout to All Out community on our Facebook page. You've got questions, you want coaching. And so one of the things we are opening up to our Burnout to All Out community that are listening in right now to this podcast is a chance to get your questions answered in a live hot seat coaching session with me, yours truly, Melissa Hinault, in our Burnout to All Out community. And the audio will be recorded and you will be debuted in our podcast with your questions. So if that piques your curiosity and you're intrigued, here's the deal. All you have to do is text the word question. Again, text the word question to the number 1-833-310-7171. Again, text the word question to 1-833-310-7171. And when you do that, we will come back to you with another message asking you to submit your question. 2 to 3 lucky people will be selected every single week to be featured in my Facebook community and on my podcast. Looking forward to hearing from you guys.
I began to build a business that stuck. What do I mean by stuck? The leaders I was bringing in stayed. They didn't just stay. They started recruiting. And it wasn't just me in business by myself recruiting customers anymore. They became high energy. They were coachable. They were leaders because I was on the right platform, talking the right language to people who wanted what I had to offer. And guess where the magic started to happen? And this is where I want you guys to get really excited. Believe it or not, over these past 3 years, I've recruited significantly less people. Okay. Don't let that disappoint you because my paycheck has done nothing but go up. Why is that? Does anyone want to know? It's because I'm recruiting efficiently. Okay. So instead of finding 100 product users, I may find 10 billers in 6 months. And those 10 billers are focused on the business. So they find 10 builders, right? Now you have 100 people in your organization. Now everybody goes and finds 10 product users. Do the math on that. Now I have 1,000 people in my organization, and I started with 10 builders that I found on LinkedIn, not finding 1,000 product users by myself. 6 years in a row, recognized as a top income earner with my previous network marketing company, right? It was about recruiting less, but the right people with the right strategy. And then all of a sudden, I was looking forward to my days of recruiting. I know my students can't wait to wake up in the mornings and look at their DMs and see who's interested, who followed up, who's open to a business opportunity, right? It's so exciting. And what happens is you love your conversations and your energy goes up and you're recruiting and you're making money, right? You're making money. So some people say, well, Melissa, if this works for your team, why are you offering it to the public, right? I used to get such pushback from my previous upline because they didn't want me to share these secrets with the rest of the world. But I truly believe because this industry changed my life, I believe it shouldn't be held to just 1 or 2 or 3 network marketing companies or social selling businesses, but that rising tides can raise all ships. And as a collective, if we can come into LinkedIn, lockstep, lock arms, and own this industry like the professionals that we are, we can truly change waves of people's lives like it did for me with the freedom lifestyle I have today. There are so many burnout professionals just like me who are crying for a solution right now. We have it. We have it. Here's the thing. There's 600 million people on the platform, right? There's plenty of opportunity. By the way, let me tell you guys, don't get so excited with LinkedIn today that you go connect with everyone that you know in your social selling business. I want to go ahead and give you that forewarning. I want you to stay in your swim lane because what's going to happen is you can be friends with those people over on Facebook and Instagram. How many of you, your Facebook and Instagram feeds are full of people in your social selling business? You do not want that on LinkedIn. We get into the depths of why and the algorithms and all those things inside the academy. The bottom line is you don't want your feed full of people who are in the same business as you. You want to keep your swim lane separate. So stop if you're in the middle of trying to connect with people in your team on your business. Stop. Don't do it. Don't do it. Send them a kind note and tell them you'll stay friends over on Facebook and Instagram. Okay. So here's the thing. Please make sure, like Neen said, you've got your workbook. Please send us a message if you do not have your workbook because we're going to start taking notes right here in just a second. Because here's the thing. It's critical. The reason I have this workbook instead of me just talking at you is I'm treating you just like I treat my students inside the academy. Being an entrepreneur can be extremely lonely because when you're the one at the top and there's no one else holding you accountable, how do you hold yourself accountable? So we're treating you just like we do our students inside the academy with some accountability. You're going to do some work. By the end of this training, you will have a powerful plan in this workbook on how you will customize and best represent yourself on LinkedIn in a way that attracts your ideal business partner or client to grow your business exponentially. Okay, now take a deep breath. Take a deep breath and ask yourself, what impact do you want to make on your social selling business before the end of 2021? You've got major goals, and I want to congratulate you for taking radical action when most people are taking time off. You are legitimately building your pipeline for the following months because you're doing the work now. Okay. I want you guys to breathe in possibility and breathe out doubt because your whole life can change when you apply these principles. Open heart, open mind. Are you guys ready to play? Where you are today, my friend, is not a fixed state. I am an example of that coming out of the Instagram, Facebook slump where I felt like I was in a plateau. I felt like I was in a fixed state. You are not in a fixed state. You are about to fall in love with your business all over again and find hungry individuals who want what you have to offer. The bait and switch, it's over. It's over. All you need is passion, drive, this workbook, and legitimately a phone. like a phone or a computer, to impact the globe and generations to come. All right. So get your workbook open and let's get to talking about why LinkedIn is so radically different than the other platforms. Now, I have 6 things written here that of why LinkedIn is radically different. And before we get into the 6 that I have there, I'm going to give you number 7. Okay. Because number 7 isn't in my notes, but I'm realizing how ridiculously important it is. So number 7, I'm just write a little number 7 down at the bottom. I'm going off the cuff here. But unlike the other social media platforms, LinkedIn is actually, get this, a search engine. It's a search engine. Okay. You can actually search in key ways that actually can be found on Google and other websites, right? But it is a complex search engine that I'm not going to get into the details of how to search. We don't have the time. We talk about it inside the academy. But the bottom line is it's the only platform that's actually designed to search by demographic, by location, by profession, by keywords, right? And be able to search in order and combination to be strategic in building an ideal network. I haven't really talked about that before, but it's uber critical. We talk about it inside the academy that your content will fall on deaf ears if you don't have the right network in your network, right? The beauty of LinkedIn is that it has a search engine that's brilliant, that if you work it in the right way, you manifest the right people into your feed. Can you imagine? It gets me so excited. Okay. Reason number 1, since I did number 7 first. Reason number 1, age. What is the ideal age of your ideal client or business partner? Give me a bracket if you had to guess your ideal age. So as you're thinking about who your ideal age is, the average age of Instagram and Facebook is 21 years old. Yep, it's 21 years old. The average age on LinkedIn is 35 years old. 35, average. Why is this important? Because you need to know your target audience. We're going to get into mindset and all those things in just a minute, but you need to know your target audience. For me in social selling, my ideal business partner was someone who lived enough life to want something more. That's not to discredit the early 20-somethings, but I know in my early 20-somethings, I still thought I could rule the world and become president of a pharma company, which, by the way, I could have, but instead I became president of my own company, right? My point is, know who your target audience is and where they hang out. So for me, LinkedIn has a niche age group, average being 35, an older, slightly older demographic hanging out over there. Number 2, income. What do you think the average income is on Facebook and Instagram? The average income on Instagram, Facebook is around $23,000 average. Okay. Now, what's the average income on LinkedIn? The average income on LinkedIn is $100,000 a year. Now, here's the thing. For some network marketers and social sellers, that intimidates them because they think, oh, they don't need this. And I have to tell you, you couldn't be further from the truth. Because actually the stakes are even higher when you make more money. And if you want out, you better have a plan, right? People who make that much money have shown up in life and held themselves accountable to get there. Aren't those the type of people you want? Also, people who make money like money. The average millionaire has 7 streams of income. I know I have multiple streams and I'm looking to invest and always looking for more. People who operate franchises and are looking for angel investors, they're crushing it on LinkedIn. People on cryptocurrency, crushing it on LinkedIn. Why? Because they know their demographic. These people are educated and looking for ways to make more money. So don't let someone's success discredit you wanting to approach them. These people have discretionary funds to invest. And they're on this platform frequently. If they're on this platform more frequently than the others, they are heavily invested in their personal and professional development. It's the number one reason people hang out on LinkedIn. So they're making money and they're invested in their development. Does it sound like a win-win for you guys? At the end of the day, at a minimum, they have discretionary funds to invest in your product, whatever it is. The discretionary funds to invest in your business, whatever it is, right? But it's all in how it's presented and packaged. Inside of our academy, we get into depth with scripts and verbiage and role play on how we actually do that. We're not going to be able to get into the depths of that here, but know that it's all in how it's presented as to how it's received. Okay, number 3, gender. So what do you think is the split on men versus women on LinkedIn? I'll just go ahead and give it away to you guys. Actually, the only platform where there's 1% more men than women. On the other platforms, it's 49, 51 towards women for Facebook and Instagram, and 49 for men. On LinkedIn, it's 51 men, 49 women. Okay. So that should excite you. I'm not sexist, but I will say that in general, men tend to really want to understand comp plans and talk money, right? And so if you like to lead with a business and talk money, could there be a better place to cut to the chase? Could there? Right? Crazy. Number 4 is mindset. Mindset. So this is important. I'm going to ask you guys, why do you go to Instagram and Facebook? Put your business aside. I want you to assess yourself as just a user of the platform. Okay. Why go to Instagram and Facebook? What do you go there for? You go there for entertainment, right? To catch up with friends. You go there to scroll and kind of zone out. When you've got 2 minutes to burn, you're scrolling through, right? Yes, time away from work, zoning out, in between commercials. Now, any of you current LinkedIn users or past LinkedIn users, what have you historically used LinkedIn for in the past? I know for me, before studying how to use it to market my business, I dusted off my resume over there. Yes, I went to look for a job. Or if you're in professional and corporate, you're always networking to grow your network because you never know where the next opportunity might happen. Okay. I want you guys to pause and think about this. Okay. Pause and think about this. Mindset. Everything. What we just talked about. What are people looking for on LinkedIn? Career changes, jobs, networking, opportunity. Guys, think about that mindset. I have seen it literally happen with my clients. The light bulb goes off. They will send messages to the same person on Instagram and Facebook. I had a client this happened to last month. She couldn't believe it. Someone that she used to work with in the art industry up in New York. She had messaged her personally on Facebook. She messaged her personally on Instagram. She had made multiple posts about the product, multiple posts about the business, and her friend completely ignored her. Okay. Now, let me inspire you a minute instead of depress you. She started in our academy. She did a full-on overhaul of her profile, and she started using our scripts. And guess what happened? She got a message from her friend. Her friend reached out to her on LinkedIn and said, "Oh my gosh, I didn't realize you were starting a business." You guys get it? It is posture, platform, mentality, and mindset of the user. That chick was on Instagram and Facebook. She just wasn't taking her friends seriously on those platforms because she wasn't there to be serious. But when she saw her owning it on LinkedIn and changed her profile, and instead of being spammy and product focused, she stepped into her power as the entrepreneur and the business owner that she was, with polish, with swagger. She created attraction marketing to her. She wasn't chasing people anymore. They were chasing her. Intrigued, mysterious. What is it you're doing? I hope your minds are blown. Number 5, device used. Okay. What do you think is the number 1 device used on Facebook and Instagram? And it makes sense when we talk about mindset, right? It's the phone. What do you think the number 1 device used is on LinkedIn? It is, drum roll, the computer. Why should this blow your mind? This should blow your mind because number 1, people's mindset is different, right? We already talked about that. But number 2, they're sitting at their work desk. They are working and consciously thinking about something else, looking for something else. They're not as prone to be multitasking, watching Netflix, scrolling in the elevator, peeking in for 1 quick second and peeking out. They are locked and loaded on their computer. Oddly enough, peak activity on Mondays and Tuesdays on LinkedIn. Why? People are headed back to work and they don't want to be there. They're thinking about what could I do different? Maybe there's a better dream job for me. And this is where we really coach in the academy. How do you take posture and verbiage and attraction marketing and take their curiosity from another job, J-O-B, to your offering instead? How do you cast that vision? Create curiosity. Have them lean in and want to learn more. Number 6, last but not least, is organic reach. Guys, we're experiencing this every day in the sense that Facebook and Instagram are continuing to get more and more complicated with reach, more and more complicated with their algorithms, more and more complicated, right? How many of you guys used Facebook 10 years ago? And you saw everything. The organic reach was there. Your friend would post something and you saw other people tag or comment on a post because it showed up in the feed, right? The bottom line is the algorithms weren't complicated back then. And the viewability and organic reach was really good. Well, I hope you guys are excited to hear that where the algorithms are the least messy right now is LinkedIn. If any of you follow Gary Vaynerchuk, you will know that he's been praising and preaching those who are working this platform today are the ones who will make millions, like the social sellers did a decade ago on Facebook. You could take a video and post it on Insta, Facebook, and LinkedIn, same video, and I guarantee you more views on LinkedIn. Guaranteed. Now, the caveat is if you have the same amount of network, right? Like if you have 0 network on LinkedIn and you go post a video on all the platforms today and you say, oh, Melissa, that wasn't true. Like we can't compare apples to oranges, right? Like you have to have a large enough network for it to matter, right? Are you a social seller out there looking to beat the summer slump, looking for some accountability to grow your business and find the business builders of your dreams that want to run with you? Guys, if that's you, look no further than our 5-day inside scoop, where we are going to be taking you soup to nuts through growing your brand and creating attraction marketing on the LinkedIn platform. I'm going to teach you some of the critical tools I use to grow my social selling business and my coaching business. The coolest part about it, it's completely free. You just have to jump over to my Burnout to All Out Facebook community and get registered today. Or you can go to my website, www.livethefreelife.co. We'll put this in the show notes. But guys, take a listen to some of my former students and how they're doing and their experience inside the LinkedIn training. There's no question that this academy has changed everything about my business. And just a little fun fact is in the first 4 months of this business, we just ended April, and I paid more in the first 4 months than I did my entire year last year in my social selling business. And there's no question, the only thing I changed was the LinkedIn Academy.
Day 2, when I was in the academy, had really gotten my storefront to a place where I felt comfortable, had an audit, I felt like, okay. And I reached out to her through LinkedIn. I used a part of the scripts that you give us, tailored to my own. And she wrote back immediately. We had a discovery call the next day and she signed up that night. So
it is so much fun. And they always say, if you're not having fun, you're not doing it right. And you've made this fun again, Melissa. I adore you.
So I hope you guys got those notes. Now let's talk a little bit about why LinkedIn is so hot right now with what I have lovingly called the global trifecta. Okay. The global trifecta. So there's three things swirling in our world right now, all at the same time, that have never swirled together simultaneously, which is driving all the success of my clients over on LinkedIn. Number one is disruption. The pandemic last year created such a disruption in the workforce that people are questioning everything. People who never considered a side gig or a secondary income stream or improving their life skills or professional skills to do something different. Most people pre-pandemic were not open to taking a look at something like that, right? But when the pandemic hit, and we've seen this, studies have shown when mass disruption happens, people rethink everything. They're open. That's actually what got me open to social selling in the first place. My company was going through a massive downsize, and I was being given an ultimatum that if I stayed, my geography would go from 2 states to the entire East Coast. And I was terrified. And because of that, when someone positioned to me an opportunity to build out a secondary income stream, leveraging my leadership skills that I had, it was the first time in my life I was open to it. Because prior to that, I judged it. And so my point is, when disruption happens, people think differently. What we have now is a completely new disruption of a re-entry into the workforce, which is a whole nother message on LinkedIn. People have lived the sweet life. They have been home in their pajamas for a year. They didn't have a commute. They didn't have to spend money and wear dress clothes, at least from that top up, right? There's a whole new message out there. I talk to women all the time with struggle is real. They've gotten really comfortable with being able to ease right out of their home office and make dinner to now the commute and the pickup and the drop off and all the things in life getting stressful again. Number 2 is the gig economy. That is a piece of the global trifecta. Never in our lives have we been in the midst of disruption and the world be so open to gigs, side gigs. Everybody's got some kind of secondary gig, right? I've got professionals on my team who are surprised to know their bosses are dabbling in multiple businesses. This year has taught most people not to have all your eggs in one basket. And if you are not on LinkedIn having that conversation, you, my friend, are missing out. You're missing out because there are more humans open to that conversation than ever before because of our economy. Number 3 is the first time ever in the midst of disruption and a gig economy, do we have a social media platform designed to network solely about business. In the midst of a pandemic, in the midst of it being socially acceptable to have a side gig, you have a social media platform designed to go find new opportunities. Imagine if LinkedIn existed during the Great Depression. Guys, this has never happened before, ever. So in summary, the global trifecta is the pandemic and disruption, the gig economy, and the fact that we have a business-to-business platform where we can cut straight to the chase and talk about business today. So the last thing we're going to talk about today is why LinkedIn is the blue ocean. How many of you guys have heard of the book, The Blue Ocean? Here's the deal. It's a great book. I read it actually in building out my LinkedIn coaching. So The Blue Ocean, it's a book about sales and marketing, actually, that does a case study of all these top brands and how they made it. And what they talk about in sales and marketing is that you can either live in the red ocean of sales and marketing, which is a shark-feeding frenzy ocean full of blood, because everyone is doing a similar thing in trying to stand out, right? So it's very competitive. So AKA Instagram, Facebook. Look at this product. Look at my business. Look at me. Bam, Pam, thanking ma'am. Everybody doing the same thing, but trying to stand out, right? The blue ocean strategy is where you, my friend, create your own market and there's no competition. I want you to think about that. You create your own market and there's no competition. Network marketers, social sellers, and even super high-end coaches that I work with. I have 2 coaches who are a very, very, very high price tag are not present on LinkedIn right now because they don't know how to use the platform. And if they did, they would realize the opportunity that's there because other business coaches, social sellers are not. They're not. But the reality is millions upon millions upon millions of people are using the platform. And it's underutilized by social sellers because they're not confident. They don't know how to use it. It's underutilized by coaches because they don't know how to use it. Those of you who lock into the strategy and you learn how to use it are going to be backstroking in a blue ocean instead of darting around the shark frenzy red ocean you've been hanging out in. You've been working hard. It's just been the wrong platform and the wrong message that's super competitive versus being wide open. I challenge you guys to Google some of the top people in your industry or go to LinkedIn and search them and see if they even have a LinkedIn profile. And if they do, how active are they? Okay, preview for tomorrow. We're going to get into the mindset and reset to crush this platform. We are going to retrain your brain to stop thinking the way you do on Instagram and Facebook. And I'm going to teach you how to step into the confidence and the business owner that you are with Swagger on LinkedIn so that you have the posture and the mindset to crush this business.
Thanks for listening to the Burnout to All Out podcast. For free resources, materials, or information on my coaching services, go ahead over to livethefreelife.co. That's livethefreelife.co. Or check out our Facebook community at Burnout to All Out and make sure you follow Burnout to All Out on Spotify and subscribe to iTunes. And it would truly mean the world to me if you paused for just a second, gave me that 5-star review of the show, and be sure to share this episode with any burnouts you think would be inspired to go all out after hearing this episode.